So, what if the absolute best advice on love came from the most unlikely person you could possibly imagine? We're about to break down the difference between a connection that shatters and one that actually lasts, using lessons from a man whose life was, well, anything but a fairy tale.
Right off the bat, the guy behind all this, George Hatcher, makes one thing crystal clear. He is no guru. This is not your typical self-help guide. Nope, this is a raw, honest look at love from someone who learned every single lesson the hard way. He's not here to judge, just to share what he saw.
And this is where the story gets really interesting. See, Hatcher's experience isn't a highlight reel of successful relationships. It's a history of major mistakes. We're talking failed businesses, white-collar crimes, and yeah, even a 42-month stint in prison. Not exactly the resume you'd expect from someone writing about enduring love, right?
So that's the million-dollar question, isn't it? If that was his life for decades, how on earth did he and his wife Molly build a partnership that has managed to last for 60 years through all of that chaos? Let's dive in and find out. Okay, so Hatcher's insights. They really start with him diagnosing what he calls the great love hoax. He takes a hard look at the modern world of dating and basically sees a system that feels like it's designed for superficiality and ultimately for loneliness. And he points to a few key symptoms of this so-called hoax. First, there's what he calls the Tinder trap, where the endless illusion of choice actually makes us devalue the person right in front of us. Then there's ghosting, which is a pretty clear sign of a culture that treats people as totally disposable. And finally, shiny object syndrome, that little voice in our head that's always looking for the next, newer, supposedly better thing.
And this gets right to the heart of the confusion that Hatcher sees everywhere. He argues that we are constantly mistaking lust for love. Lust, that's the flash of lightning. It's exciting, it's immediate, it's a biological spark. But real love, he says, that's like a slow, steady rain. It's the thing that actually nourishes the ground so something real has a chance to grow.
And the consequence of mixing those two up? It's huge. When we're constantly just chasing that electrifying jolt of lightning, we get impatient. We never give a relationship the time it actually needs to become that nurturing, life-sustaining rain.
So Hatcher builds on this whole idea with another really powerful metaphor. He calls it a showdown between the heart and the hormones.
He contrasts the firework with the star. A firework is a spectacular explosion, right? It's thrilling for a second, but then it just vanishes into smoke. A star, on the other hand, is a quiet, steady light that can actually help you navigate when you're lost in the dark. But the real difference, the most important one, is that last line. A firework runs from trouble. A star, real love, runs toward it.
And this is where his own story just brings the whole concept to life. He says that after a youth spent chasing fireworks, he met Molly. And her love, it wasn't some grand explosion. He describes it as something much, much quieter, but infinitely more powerful, the pilot light. And this is the moment it all clicked for him. When his businesses failed, when he was facing prison, when his life literally exploded, all those exciting firework-like connections, they were gone. Poof. But Molly's love, that small, steady flame, it was the one thing that was still there. That, he says, is how you know the difference. This all leads to his final and maybe his most profound lesson. If real love is proven in a crisis, well then the goal can't possibly be a perfect problem-free life. The real goal is learning how to build something beautiful within all the imperfection.
And to explain this, Hatcher uses this beautiful concept from Japanese art called kintsugi. The idea is, when a piece of pottery breaks, they don't throw it away. They meticulously repair it using a lacquer mixed with powdered gold. The breaks aren't something to hide. They're celebrated as part of the object's history, making it even more unique and beautiful.
And that is exactly how he describes his marriage. The breaks, his failures, his crimes, the prison time, they're all part of their story. And their love? That's the gold that fills in those cracks. And the result is a bond that is stronger and more beautiful because it survived being broken. So how do we actually apply this stuff? Hatcher pretty much distills his entire life's lesson into 3 core principles. First, choose honesty over performance. Stop trying to present some perfect, curated version of yourself. Second, choose commitment over convenience. Do the work, especially when it's hard. And finally, and this is a big one, choose a partner who chooses you back, especially when you're at your worst. And that leaves us with this final, incredibly powerful idea.
He says to forget about finding the perfect person for a perfect fairy tale life. The real goal is to find someone who, when everything goes wrong and the house is metaphorically burning down around you, doesn't run away. They grab a bucket and help you clean up the mess so you can build something new from the ashes together.